Hello everyone. Hello! Can you all hear me? Yes! Good. And well, I've got to say a big welcome to everyone. And it's just really special to see so many people that I've known from the past and people that I know hopefully to get to know tonight and meet, to say hi to. And it's a big welcome to everyone. I've had many good days in my life, but this is a special one. A special one. But I'm also really glad that I can share it with you lot. And it's so nice that you're all here from so many different walks of life, from age groups, from areas in the globe, all travelling here to see us. And it's really special, really special. And I'm particularly happy to see Richard's family and Richard and Henry's all Henry's family and friends. And they've all made the trip from New Zealand, from America, Asia, Europe. It's just really good. And really to say a special thank you to Richard and Helen. We got to know you really well over Christmas in New Zealand, and you are top guys. All your family and friends, also top guys, including you. Yeah, George as well, yeah. And Gabby. Yeah. But we enjoyed so much generosity and friendship and excitement and adventures when we came over, and it's been really special to get to know you and to hopefully keep this going for many years to come. Anyway, what a lovely family.
In summary.
I hope today that you all have a special day, and that if wherever you travel from, you have a really good Yorkshire welcome, and we treat you well, and you go back with some good memories of this day to cherish for many years to come. Today is a special day for me because I get to say to Louise, or I should say Mrs. Harmon, in a very public way of how proud I am of you and how much I love you and how much your mum loves you and how much John loves you. Yeah, and it's Louise gave me some advice about this.
On a spreadsheet.
Louise likes to control things. She said, when the wedding was announced, and my role in it, and he said, all I have to do is to say some nice things about you. And Henry. Really thank everyone for coming. So it's an easy job for me, this. So I've done that, so that's covered. Yeah. Yeah. Like I say, this is one of the proudest moments of my life. I say one of them because I've had many. Moments. This is a special one, but there's been other special ones as well. Yeah. The day you were born. That was a special one. Yeah, really special. Well done to your mum. success at school, becoming a doctor, becoming a mother, yeah, an adventure-loving person that you are. I'm so proud of you. You're an amazing person, and I love you loads. And you're happy, Henry, is magic to me to see.
Do you need some chicken?
It really is. Most of you know Louise. She's my daughter that's developed into a beautiful woman, and she's no longer the little girl that needs hands over, helping hand on Brimham rocks, or encouragement at swimming lessons, or undertaking many trail walks with the Harrison crew. Yeah, top days. That's all good to see you all grown up. This is a lovely day. Some people know that I've got a nickname for Louise, and I call her Biggs. And initially it was just like a term of endearment, encouragement, but it's also big ambitions, and you've surpassed every expectation or realisation that we can ever have. That you've done so well, and it's beautiful to see. Like I say, Louise has done lots of good things in her life, and she's never shy of taking on an adventure. I was fortunate when a few years back Louise was working down in Shropshire and had a 2-week window before going off to Australia. She said a couple of weeks before, how about us doing a little adventure? And then she came up with Land's End on the Road cycle. A bit late in the day, but training went well for a day and a half. But it turned out to be a special time, and really special time. And unfortunately, we had headwinds all the way, every day, varying in strength, but there was headwinds. But I got to realise that Louise was never afraid to take the lead. And being on a cycling trip, being in the lead is good for the second person. So off she went. I struggled to keep a wheel, and but yeah, it was really good. But everyone's got limits. We've been going for a week and a half, and all of a sudden we were going up Northumberland Coast into a steaming coastal headwind, and it was just like, where were we? Banbury Castle. I asked Louise, should we stop? Should we stop and have a picture of the castle? Beautiful day, windy blowing into space, and ask these people to take a picture of us. And she turned round, and I knew then she'd reached her limit. How much she could take of me, like suggesting things from the rear wheel. And she let me know in no uncertain terms, very clear and concise. And I realised there she'd reached her limit after a week and a half of leading out. It was but I had a plan, and the plan was to go into a cafe and get some food, and refuel her. And it was, so we went to the cafe, I went to the toilet, came back into this really busy cafe, and there was Louise asleep in the corner. There she was. A bit of food later, half an hour sleep, and you're back leading out. So it was just brilliant to see. And I knew then, you're special. She's also quite good at multitasking. On the same cycle, she had a little pouch of all the drugs that she could dispense to me, you know, to keep me going. And that was just, yeah. You did a remarkable job.
How was the undercarriage?
That was fine, Eric. Thanks for asking. A bit of embrocated education. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, Louise is always one for cramming stuff in and taking on adventures. And as Julia often says, that Louise likes to squeeze the pit out of the oranges, the last drop of everything out of life. And she's just a top daughter. This is a lot's been said about Louise's adventures and strengths, but she's also a caring, loving, sensitive, and perhaps complex individual at times. That's Benji. Sorry. That speech. Yeah. Thanks, Biggs, for being a brilliant daughter. Yeah. Some people know we went to China, Louise and I, on a work trip in 2007. Well, it was an excuse for a work trip. We had a couple of days, at a conference or exhibition, wasn't it? And then off we went and had a brilliant tour around. And at the end of the tour, we'd had a brilliant time. And afterwards, Louise did a thank you thing for me, which was to make a photo album of all the adventures on that tour. And the last photo was Louise and I on the top of a hill looking over Hong Kong and pointing in a direction. And it was, Louise had put on the little insert, China done, where next, Dad? And it was just really good. But it's the fact that you did that, and it was where next, Dad. Right now, today, it's more where next, Henry. My adventures are waning, perhaps, and Henry's role in your adventures to come is to take on. But anyway, well, Henry. I'd like to formally say welcome to the family. I met Henry a few years ago in Australia, and then again last year when he came over and stayed with us for a bit. And I thought I'd do the right thing, just test out the... Hello, Eric. Oh, right, okay.
Carry on, lad.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Eric, you're colouring.
And so I thought, I need to test out the future son-in-law. So I invited him to the golf club for a few holes of golf. And just to see what the character was. And make sure you're the right material. You came up with all sorts of excuses not to play. Hadn't played for a while. A bit of a bad back. Jet lagged. It was that was to no avail. We played, and on the way round, first few holes, fine. You let me win. I thought this is good character. Yeah. Well, verse in diplomacy. Looking good. And then I thought, I told him about our 8th hole, which is the toughest hole on the course. And again, there was a bit of a breeze, headwind. So Henry, it's 440 yards, so it's a fair old distance. And Henry hit a good drive, but then hit a second shot that I'll always remember. And it went sailing with the power of Eric's 4-iron. with the skill and the accuracy of Stuart's wedges. Yeah. It was 220 yards, and it went straight over the flag. Just ran off through the back. But it was just awesome. But he didn't do a fist pump. He just looked over casually and just gave me a little nod. Says this is every day. And then we went on to some session ales in the bar, and it was just brilliant. And I knew then that Henry was good for Louise, and will, yeah, brilliant. This view, over the years since then, we've spent some time over Christmas, and it's just all been reinforced. Your role with Louise, with Freddie, has shown you in a really good place and a really good person, and I love it. And you're, well, was top for Louise, top son-in-law. This is the tricky one. It's sort of custom that you should, the father of bride, give some words of advice on how to maintain married life. This is slightly tricky for me. My record isn't great. The vicar today covered one of my lines, which was just to make up before you go to bed. But the main thing I'm going to say on this, and it's not advice, really, but it's keep doing what you're doing. Yeah. Because you're a sort of special couple, and whatever you're doing now, bottle it up and keep drinking that same bowl. It's really good, and that's all I'll say to you. It's just keep doing what you're doing. Yeah, I'd like to say some words about people who aren't here today, who couldn't make it for one reason or other. Your parents, Richard. They're obviously going to be raising a glass to Louise and Henry shortly, or even now, probably. Not right now. But also grandparents who aren't here. Mum's here, but it's grandparents that unfortunately passed, that have formed parts of both Henry's and Louise's life, and they have moulded you, or helped to mould you, into the people you are today. And I can remember Julia's mum, Cynthia, as we knew her at Mimi, that was Louise's name for her anyway, spending so much time with you, and shaping you, and playing, dressing up games, and that's worked well. And just really spending a lot of time and effort, and everyone would be so proud to see you today. It's a real shame that they can't, but I'm sure they're looking down and thinking of special people. It's a tricky relationship, but I'd like to say a few words about John Blackburn. You and your family really supportive to Julia and to Louise, and I love getting to know you at Christmas and spending that time with you, and thank you very much. I'd like to thank the bridesmaids, the ushers, the groomsmen, and everyone who's had any involvement in this wedding. It's been a massive effort, coordinated by Louise, but it's been amazing and really, really special. And so a massive thank you to everyone who's been involved. And finally, you might say thank you, but I'd like everyone to join me in a toast to be upstanding if you can. So that toast is a toast to Louise and Henry.
Hello, Hampsway! So I'm a bit emotional after that last speech. Thank you all so much for coming to celebrate this special day with us. Your presence here means the world to us, and we are thrilled to have you all here tonight. I would like to start by saying, how beautiful does my wife look? As you all know, Louise and I do almost everything together, so it's only fitting that we deliver a joint speech today.
When I left to Australia, I told Mum I was going for a year. 3 weeks later, I sent a message to Scarlett saying I'd found a hot Kiwi and I might be staying a little longer. Little did I know that 6 years later, I would bring the hot Kiwi, his beautiful family and our wonderful baby back to the village that I love so much. Deciding to get married here, the village I grew up in, was actually a very easy decision in the end. As I've always said, if I'm having a Kiwi fiance, a Kiwi dog, a Kiwi job, then I'm having a UK wedding. Not to mention, of course, that when I was a little girl and told Mum that I wanted to get married in the village church, she joined the cleaning committee. The last 20 years cleaning it 4 times a year. Keep with
When we took a walk around the village last May, Louise was able to tell me a story relating to nearly every building, path, or person that we came across in Hampsway, and so I said, why don't we have our wedding right here in the heart of this wonderful community? Well, little did I know what a Hampsway village affair would snowball into. We have so many people to thank tonight for making this possible. This is such a special day for us, and we really cannot thank you all enough for the contributions you have made to getting us here tonight.
I'm going to start with 2 very important thank yous. Mum, Dad. Thank you for always supporting me in everything I have done. I will never take for granted all of the love, caring and guidance you have given me. I truly am the luckiest girl. Growing up, you let me try every hobby, sport and musical instrument, even if it only lasted a month, like the cello. Through school and university, you encouraged me to do my best, not caring if I failed, promising to love me unconditionally, and putting up with my tears of stress before every exam. Thank you for letting me spread my wings, even when I knew you were nervous at times with whatever venture I was undertaking. When I headed to the other side of the world, you never stopped me or discouraged me. Instead, once we had Freddie, you hopped on a plane and spent the most incredible 4 months with us. And now, thank you for welcoming Henry into our family. I hope we can make Freddie feel as special and as happy as I did growing up. You really are both amazing, and I love you both. You came into my life when I was an adult, and it makes me so content to see how happy you make my mum. You have an incredible way of de-stressing any tension. You are calm, kind, and always willing to lend a hand. Your surprising talent for wedding planning. Every inch of this hall, sorted every logistical concern, and even turned your hand to making the pottery heart favours you see. To have you and all the other Blackburn clan as part of our family is a dream. Richard and Helen, thank you for welcoming me into your family. We have already spent some amazing times together and shared some incredible adventures, often at very close quarters. Thank you for your kindness and generosity. I love the willingness of the Harmons to share a meal, a nickname, your house, a bunk bed, a cabin berth, a kayak, a bike, and a stand-up paddleboard. But most of all, thank you for raising Henry into the beautiful and kind partner and father standing beside me today.
Follow that, Henry.
Mum and Dad, your hard work and love has given me every opportunity to be happy in life. Thank you for the early morning drop-offs to some questionable hobbies when a cup of tea and a lion was all that was wanted. Thank you for the childhood memories, the family holidays, for providing a place to grow and develop, to laugh and to be silly. Thank you for all that you have done in helping me get this far. For loving Louise, loving Freddie, and for all the support you continue to provide my family. Julia and Andrew, I love you both very much for raising such an amazing daughter. She makes me so happy. I promise you I will always love, respect, treasure her and keep her safe. I can only imagine how hard it is having your daughter and grandson live so far away, but after this brilliant summer together, I know that we can make it work. Jean, we're so grateful to have you here with us tonight, especially since my own grandparents couldn't make it. It was a wonderful experience having you stay with us and travelling through New Zealand with you this summer. During that time, it became clear where Louise gets her zest for life from. You're such a resilient and optimistic person. Even when we encountered some car troubles and had to share a bunk bed together for the night, you kept your spirits up. I doubt many people in this room can say they've shared a bunk bed with their 90-year-old. To the bridesmaids, all 4 of you look incredible tonight. Scarlett, as maid of honour, I wanted to take a moment to acknowledge the special bond you share with Louise. From celebrating birthdays, dressing up as a 2-headed alien, drinking your first glasses of wine, you've shared so many memories in this very hall. And today, in a testament to the strength and longevity of your friendship, you stand here supporting Louise on one of the most important days of her life. You've been by her side, thick and thin, and it's clear to me how much she values your friendship. Scarlett, thank you for being there for Louise and being part of her life. Heather, thank you for taking Louise out on her run this morning. Your friendship means the world to her, and I love the positive influence you have on her life. Whether it's climbing to Everest Base Camp, training for a marathon, your shared sense of adventure is inspiring, and I know that the 2 of you will continue to explore the world for many years to come, only now with Freddie and Freya in tow. Louise is lucky to have you in her life, and I am fortunate to call you a friend too. Grace and Ella. When Louise first asked you to be her bridesmaids, you were both a bit shorter than her, and I think she secretly is a little bit mad to see how fast you have both grown. You both look absolutely beautiful tonight, and you've been a great addition to our bridal party. Thank you. To my groomsmen, my best man Sam, who I've known since I was just a few months old. You are an exceptional best man.
Be nice to him, Henry.
I've always looked up to you, followed in your footsteps until we started. I was the second born, second to buy a house, second to buy a dog, second to get engaged, second to have a baby, but I'm the first to get married. Thank you for supporting me today. Your loyalty and dedication is unparalleled. Actually, sometimes your dedication goes a little bit too far. It's when you decided to drink your own urine, to increase the realism of our amateur series of Man vs. Wild we filmed when we were just 10 years old. I am honoured, and yes, maybe feeling a little bit guilty, that I've dragged you and your parents around the world and made you miss your son's first birthday to be here with us tonight. Thank you for guiding me through med school, for teaching me about rap, and how to talk to girls. Otherwise, I wouldn't be getting married today. I will admit tonight, finally, that you did make me cool, and not the other way around. Gus and George, I'm so lucky to have brothers who I know will always have my back. We have an amazing relationship, and you have been so welcoming to your sister Squeegee. Congratulations, Tubbs, on your engagement with Gabby. And on that note, congratulations to Gabby for making it to the family WhatsApp group. As I mentioned before, this wedding has been a grassroots, whole village affair. I'm told that's just what happens in Hanswade. So thank you to everyone who has helped set up this wonderful wedding.
Local, and that is truly what has happened. So many people have helped us put together this event today, and we cannot thank you all enough. I would like to make a few special mentions to a few particular people. Pauline and your assistant Joe. Thank you for making this place look so beautiful and growing all the wonderful flowers that are on this table and have been decorating the church. They're amazing, thank you. Jen, thank you for putting up with my questions for the whole of the last year. It all works. Ian, thank you for making and taking all the memories today. It's really special. Thank you. James and Nomad Catering. I never thought for a second when I was waiting for you at aged 18 that I would actually have you catering my own wedding a few years later. Jill, our lovely neighbour who has made our cake tonight. And Janet Harrison, whose beautiful handwriting you can see in front of you on the place cards. Sally Haig for sewing all these beautiful, wonderful curtains that you see around here. And for all of our friends who just really chipped in yesterday, we couldn't be more grateful. I think 30% of you were already in this room yesterday, helping out, so that's really amazing. And Tony, thank you for being a wonderful MC tonight. Laura, thank you so much for that music in the church. We heard a special version of it last night and I could hear everything. To Helen, Hamish and to Emma for doing that. It was really meant a lot to us. And then I just want to say a final thank you to everybody who has come from all over the UK but also who have travelled here from so far and wide. New Zealand, Hong Kong, Australia, the USA, France. Thank you for making a massive effort to come all this way. It has made us so truly happy to be celebrating this day with all of our friends and family from around the world. Lastly, Henry, my husband! Thank you of all. You really are the love of my life. Since we first met, you have made me feel the most special girl in the world. You make me smile and laugh every day. I love your silliness, your caring, your intelligence. You are such a gentleman who always puts your family before yourself. When we first started dating, I used to love hearing you over the curtain at work, making children laugh, and thought that you might have some potential. And how right I was. You are the most incredible father to Freddie. Thank you for always being willing to go along with any of my ridiculous ideas and putting up with my never-ending to-do list. You will always be my hot Kiwi, but more importantly, I can't wait to grow old with you.
Follow that.
Louise,
You're all right.
first you were my colleague, then you were my pal, then you were my driving instructor, my dog trainer, my real estate agent, my fiancée, my baby mama, my wedding planner, and now I can call you my wife. I love your ridiculous ideas, your enthusiasm and zest for life that takes us from adventure to adventure. I admire your strength and courage and determination that sees you achieve so much. And I adore the beauty, kindness and love you show as the mother to our son. I am a very lucky man, and I know it. You are the love of my life. And now I would like to ask you to raise your glasses and to toast all of you who have made our day so special. To friends and family. Dear Henry and Louise, on this special day, we want to send our warmest congratulations and best wishes to both of you. While we may not be physically present to join in the celebration, please know that our thoughts are with you. We can't wait to see the photos and celebrate in person on your return to New Zealand. Love, Ed, Wendy, Keely, Josh, Will and Ella, Lucy, Steve, Vic and Tom.
And this is from our grandparents, Gilly and John. Dear Henry and Louise, we are very sorry not to be with you today, but we send all our love and many congratulations on this very special day in your life together. We wish you many years of happiness and good health. All our love, Jill and John, the Sugar Plums. So, with Louise's tight time schedules, we weren't actually allowed on the mic for any longer than this, despite our good looks and charm. Or maybe they thought we'd go massively overboard and bring back our childhood band, The Cookers. Hog, you are the greatest brother that George and I could ever ask for. George and I have followed you absolutely everywhere. At times it's been into some absolutely pretty questionable situations without really asking why. So you may all think Henry is a cool, calm, collective man, but just sometimes he breaks. Like in stressful sailing situations, a big exam, or even when he's making speeches about his best man. To calm the nerves, some people might go for a cigarette, some people might have breathing techniques, and some chew their fingernails. Henry, when he had chewed through all 10 digits, would then turn to his brother George and offer him 50 cents a fingernail. Maybe perhaps this is why George has started his own business. So with due to inflation, George will be upping his rates and he'll also be asking for Bitcoin. Like I said, we'd follow Henry absolutely everywhere. At our place in Oputare, we were forced and marched into the neighbour's property on all fours. And for some reason, we were ordered to drop a pine cone into the neighbour's toilet. It's fair to say we were blamed for all the repercussions. Henry, we absolutely love you. We look up to you, and you are truly the greatest brother anyone could ask for. I guess this is why When asked who my role model in year 4 was, I said, my big brother, Henry. Firstly, Squeeged, you look absolutely stunning tonight. You're the sister we've never had. And you really do make Henry a better person. Gus and I are absolutely stoked to be uncles, and we really look forward to supporting Freddie growing up, with some coordination. We can't wait for the many adventures of all of us together.
Mainly because I thought I would burst into tears, but to see Hank do that first has really ripped the band-aid off for the evening. So as Tony said, I'm Henry's best man, and we have been best mates really, and been up to no good since we were a few weeks old. So luckily for Henry, luckily for me, and probably luckily for all of you here, most of the stories I'm about to tell are PG. They're from when we were children, so there's less risk of me telling a dodgy story and being chased out the village by Louise. So when Henry called me a while back to ask me to be his best man, it was a very emotional phone call. You can tell what an emotional guy he is most of the time. And he said, "Hey Sambo, I want you to be my best man." I thought, oh, beautiful, what a moment, tears streaming down my face. And he said, "It's going to be in Yorkshire, it's going to be next year, 20th of May, 2023. Brilliant, sounds great. Sounds fantastic. Date rings a bell, but yeah, we're good, I'm on." I went back to my fiancée Kate. I said, "You wouldn't believe it. It's amazing. Henry's asked me to be best man at his wedding." She said, "When is it?" "Oh, it's next year in Yorkshire." "Fantastic. What date?" 20th of May, 2023. "Brilliant. Oh, that date also rings a bit of a bell." Said yes. About a week later, we realised that it's my son's first birthday. So if we could just have a big happy birthday to Otto. As Henry's father, Rich, mentioned today. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Otto. Happy birthday to you. So as Henry, or Hank as I like to call him, or Hog as his brothers like to call him, he's always been playing catch up to me. He's, as we said before, he's born exactly 1 month after me, 28th of May, 28th of June. So when we first met, I think, and I asked Rich for the details, but I think I was about 3 months old and Henry was about 2 months old. And at that stage, obviously, I was a rather independent and quite an advanced child. And at first blush, I thought this little pile of poo that was lying next to me, he seemed rather needy, constantly requiring attention, nurturing, care. So not much has changed in 30 years, hey Louise? As Henry said, he's actually also been looking up to me every day, which is ironic as I stand here of all 5'7". You can see, standing at the altar today, why he probably chose me over one of his brothers. Also, I'm going to be patently honest with you. Henry and I were incredibly weird kids. You wouldn't believe it looking at us today, right? We had a collective passion for spying. We really wanted to become spies, and I do hate to admit it in front of this current crowd, but our vision of being spies was the MI6, you know, James Bond, and all these gadgets and everything, as opposed to the New Zealand equivalent, which I understand the New Zealand equivalent of spying to be more of a sort of community neighbourhood watch type situation. You know, old mate Jimbo goes down to the club. "Hey Graham, did you see what Darren was up to last week?" "Yeah, look, he seemed a bit dodgy. I might give the Prime Minister a call and give them a heads up." So each year for birthdays and Christmas, Henry and I would get our spy gear for presents. And what spy gear? Wow, yeah. We're talking night vision goggles, listening devices, a lot of camo and disguises, survival gear and walkie-talkies. Like we stand here today, absolute sex symbols from the outset. I did ask both George and Gus for a couple of yarns to regale to you as well. George has stolen that one back about the fingernails, but I don't think that needs to be repeated because it's bloody weird. The other one was that Hank used to get his two brothers. I think I may have also played a part in this at one stage. And we'd make the two of them pretend to be blind. We'd go down to the local, in New Zealand it's called a dairy, but the local corner shop, and take them in there and just hope that they'd see some pity on them and give us some free sweets. It never worked. So we'd get all our spy gear for Christmases and birthdays, and we'd go on holidays with our families, with the Harmons and my parents, and we'd set ourselves missions, we like to call them. Cool kids. And at the start, these missions were quite innocent. Can we get unnoticed from one end of the house to the other? Oh, that'll be fun and games, eh? Can we down to the beach? Can we sneak up on the family and see if they don't see us? Or, normal 6-year-old behaviour. But as we got older, the missions became a little more and more bold. And at about age 10, we expanded our spy business into slightly more extreme plans. I don't know, can we break into your nan's place, nick a teaspoon from the kitchen, get it out without her seeing and put it in the letterbox? Whoa. We'd also, and it probably needs a little bit more explanation, we were amateur videographers, quite early to the scene. So influencers we were, I suppose, but no. Early influencers. No, and we used to make these home movies, and that involved making my two sisters and Henry's two brothers sort of be extras, and I was sort of the centre of attention. And while Henry was behind the camera, just, I want you over here and you over here. And one of them was the infamous urine incident, which was mentioned earlier, but it probably requires a little bit more explanation. I was very devoted to my craft. So we went out into the bush, tried to survive for a day, and Henry was filming me. It was all very Bear Grylls, kind of like, can he survive in the bush that's essentially in central Auckland? And we went into the bush, we were in there filming for about half a day, and I actually think that it may have been Henry's idea, but he said, well, Bear Grylls, when he's out there for a long time, we haven't drunk water for a while. I need to film you drinking your own piss out of that bottle. So, as a passionate actor and someone who's dedicated to my craft, I did piss into a bottle and drink it. Normal behaviour. But perhaps our most infamous mission was the Mangawhai fish incident circa 2001, when we were aged about 10 or 11. So Mangawhai was a bit of a beach town where my nana had a batch, which is a Kiwi word for a holiday home, and the Harmons came up for a long weekend. Great, Henry's coming, awesome, great. We got a bit bored and we set ourselves a mission. Now, some of the details are lost to Father Time, but if I recall correctly, it was definitely Henry's idea. Next to my nana's batch was an exotic fish breeder, if you will. Not the most sophisticated operation. I'm talking big black tubs full of a whole bunch of fish looking like Finding Nemo, all of this sort of jazz. But he did sell them off. It was a commercial operation. The mission, we were to break into this bloke's garage, feed at least one fish, and get out unnoticed. We essentially wanted to do something to confirm we'd been in the house, but we didn't want to cause damage. Famous last words. We got to the place, we snuck into the garage, through the door, and we were in our way in the dark garage. Black tanks were around us, whirring noises of the filter, bit of fish smell in the air. We had our walkie-talkies, cool kids. And so Henry was over the other side with his walkie-talkie. Sam, the fish field's at 11 o'clock, over. Hank. I don't remember the exact details, but it's been something like, I think we should be really sensible and get out of here. This seems like a dumb idea. But if you insist on completing the mission, the fish are to your right at 3 o'clock. I'll keep guard on the door. Will you pour a little food in them? Let's get out. Over. Now again, the details are a little sketchy, but I do vividly remember Hank being the one to actually physically pour the food into the fish. He dipped it in just a little bit, like the mission. We always have mission briefings beforehand. We knew what the mission was. It was just a little bit of fish food, just a little bit of fish food. The lid came off. Kilos of fish food went into the tank. The whole top was covered in fish food. We thought, let's get out. I mean, at least halfway through the pouring, I think the power went to his head and he just kept going. But we did get out. We got out and we ran back to my nana's place. And the Harmons left that day, which was fortunate for Henry. And later that night, my dad got a knock on the door, and it was the neighbour. Our escapade had been entirely caught on the CCTV. He's a commercial fish operator. Why wouldn't you have CCTV? We haven't quite reached that level of spying to sort of disengage CCTV cameras or anything. But long story short, turns out fish don't like excess food in the tank, and essentially there were hundreds of tropical fish floating at the top of the tank. I know. Lock us up. We caused approximately 2,000 New Zealand dollars in damage, which is about £1,000. And like any good spy, you know, under torture, never spilled the beans. Never told them that Henry was involved, and I spent the next, felt like about 10 years paying off all of my pocket money to this exotic fish breeder while Henry got off free as a bird. Now, from what I remember, that was our last big mission. The dads, Rich and Mike over there, confiscated all the spy gear. And I don't actually ever recall receiving it back. So it's slightly disconcerting to think there's two Auckland surgeons out there with night vision goggles and everything in their back of their car, but it's fine. So like Henry said earlier, it's been a bit of a catch-up process since birth. I bought a house. Henry gave me a call about a month later. Got a house as well, you know. Got engaged. A month later, he decided, the perfect timing. I don't know if we planned this one. We got pregnant. A couple of months later, they got pregnant. Then Kate and I had a little baby. Gave him a funny German name, Otto. And then all of a sudden, a few months later, another little German kid, Frederick, comes out. But now, for once, Henry's beating me to the punch and he's getting married first. And he's getting married to the most lovely, caring and welcoming person ever, Louise. And Louise, you and Henry genuinely do have the most awesome, fun, loving relationship. And it's really cool to be part of your big day, and especially in a place that obviously means so much to you and your family. I mean, we were down at the church, 1100s or something. There literally were no people in New Zealand in 1100, and that church has been there since then, so it kind of blows our mind being from New Zealand. On that New Zealand note, you'll notice the little hearts that everybody made, and you'll see on those aroha, which is the Māori word for love. There's another couple of words that I think stand out for today, and that's firstly some awesome kai, which is food. So I think the food's been awesome today. Big shout out to that. And lastly, the other one is, it's a bit of a mouthful, but it's whanaungatanga, and the direct translation, or I suppose the loose translation of that, is a special connection with people, and that's what this has been all today, I think. So Louise and Hank, both Kate and I, and also can't wait until we eventually come back to New Zealand and get to see a lot more of you guys, and that Otto and Fred can grow up and have the weird childhood that Henry and I did together, although we might leave the spy gear with the granddads. I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who's been a part of today. I know the thank yous have been done, so I'll keep them very brief, but firstly I just want to say a massive thank you to the family of the bride, Andrew, Julia and John. You guys have been fantastic and so welcoming to everybody, really. So a big clap for them. Next, I just want to say a massive thank you to the family of the groom, which is essentially my second family, or my second parents, Rich, and I know she goes by the name Helen, but I just know her as Bunky. So Rich and Bunky, who really are my second parents. A big shout out to them. And to Gus and George as well. You guys are the two little brothers I never had. So I had two little sisters. I tried to mould them to little brothers, but I never got one. And lastly, there was just a few shout-outs, and they've been gone through, but I'll just give them a bit of detail. A shout-out to Henry's friend John, who was going to come out from the States, and unfortunately had a last-minute family bereavement, so he couldn't make it, but he was going to make the effort from the States. On that note, we've got other people from America, we've got people from Brisbane, Sydney, Nice, Hong Kong, me, I'm here in Darwin, remember, missing my son's first birthday. Just doing a quick head count, off the top of my head it's about 40% of New Zealand's here, so that's cool. And also a massive shout out to just everybody in Hampthwaite. It's been just such a welcoming environment for people to come from the other side of the world to, and you guys have just been absolutely awesome. So a massive, massive, massive thanks to you. So this is the last time you're going to listen to me speak. Could we all charge a glass, charge a glass, stand, get on your pins, and if we can just all have a toast to the Harmons. To the Harmons.